Let's get to the NFC South. Texans, your champs a year ago. I have Blake Fisher as your most important player. He was their second rounder out of Notre Dame a season ago. Was not ready for the NFL game. He declared early. He was a junior coming out. He was forced into time. 337 snaps. He had a 50.4 PFF grade. If you just watch him, like, he wasn't ready, but that's no surprise. We watched him at Notre Dame. He wasn't that great of an offensive tackle, but he was a former 5-star. He actually started over Joe Alt his freshman year until he got hurt. Alt came in, took the left tackle job, never let it go. Fisher had to kick to the right side, never quite developed into what they thought he would be, but obviously one of the most physically gifted tackles in that draft class. Can they develop him over the course of his rookie career? They didn't work out with Kenny Green, right? But everyone's different. If he can take a big leap forward, you can all of a sudden see this offensive line not being a complete shit show. But given what I saw from him as a rookie, I'm a little worried because obviously now he's slated to be your right tackle firmly this season.
Nico Collins, last year, 12 games, 68 receptions, 1,000 yards. And you remember the meteoric start that he had to the season.
Yeah.
And when he was out, it really exasperated. It made worse the situation at the offensive line. And it made worse the situation with the OC and the quarterback and that marriage that obviously ended up not working out. If Nico Collins is healthy, I have way less concerns about the offensive line. Nobody catches a 5-yard slant and runs for 40 yards like Nico Collins. We love when Jamar Chase does it, and we show it on SportsCenter. Oftentimes, I think we forget about a guy named Nico Collins who is 6'4", 225 pounds, and runs like a damn deer.
We do. I mean, like, just because he was hurt last year and because the Texans kind of faded into somewhat irrelevance, I feel forget, like you said, he's almost on a pace for 1,500 yards this season ago. The guy is a true number one in the league. Now they got some more pieces to throw to for CJ Stroud. I'm actually very excited to see how that Texans offense looks this year. Maybe we're all a year early on the big leap that Stroud was going to take to MVP sort of status. All right, Indianapolis Colts. It's Anthony Richardson. I mean, I've no explanation necessary. It's Anthony Richardson. He's a top 5 pick. Incredibly talented. Can he play up to it? He's the most important player.
I agree. I'm going to go with Tyler Warren, the guy that I had slotted to be a Chicago Bear. He's obviously going to be a Colt. I think that if Anthony Richardson does take the next step, it will be riding on the coattails of an awesome rookie season from Tyler Warren at the tight end position.
Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going former number 1 overall pick, Travon Walker. This is the year. He's got to make the leap. He's still only 24 years old, man. He is still so young heading into year 4. He needs to be former number 1 overall pick. I mean, he's not bad. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any means. He is a more than competent pass rusher. But when you see the flashes from him, you're like, dude, why doesn't he do this every single time? I mean, like, his flashes are so high end that if he could just harness that, you could have a guy who is truly a top 5 edge rusher in the league. I mean, that's why he got drafted number 1 overall. But he's not even close at this point. He's not even top 30, maybe not even top 50. So he needs to make the leap into real deal every down, have to do something about him, impact player, for this Jags team to, in my opinion, usurp the Colts or the Texans to win the South. If he's still ho-hum average sort of pass rusher, this Jags defense isn't going to be good enough to win the South.
I'm going to look at the offensive side of the ball. I got Trevor Lawrence circled as a potential comeback player of the year candidate. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. has the ability to go and be like an all-pro this year. But Travis Hunter, they went up and got this guy. I need him to be a dude, and they need him to be a dude. So I think that Travis Hunter is the most important guy. I've also got a couple O-linemen circled: Makari, Hainsey, Wyatt Milam.
Of course,
they need everybody to show up if they're gonna have the turnaround that we'd like to see from Jacksonville. You need Trevor Lawrence to hit. You need Brian Thomas Jr. to get better and be himself, which we think he's going to do. Travis Hunter needs to ball outrageous, and that offensive line, they've got to figure out a way to get together.
All right, last team here, Tennessee Titans. I went Cam Ward, not necessarily for Cam Ward's like on the football field play. He is the most important guy for changing around this culture, for setting the tone for his leadership there. If they can be more competitive down the stretch than they were a year ago, if they can at least stay in games and not, I don't want to say they quit down the stretch, but it's just like they kind of
fumbled the
you
bag.
just knew the season was over and there was no one really cobbling it together, getting guys best week in and week out. So that's what I want to see. And I think he can. One of the reasons I was super high on him was his leadership ability, was what he can bring to a locker room. So that's why he's the most important player.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, number one pick, all eyes on this guy, an opportunity to turn this thing around in Tennessee. It's got to be Cam Ward.